This isn't just a story about a YouTuber making a movie. I'm here to tell you this is a much bigger deal than you think. This is about power and who actually has it now. All right, if you don't know who Markiplier is, here's the quick scoop. He is not a Hollywood guy. He became successful because he spent over a decade learning how to hold attention, how to speak directly to people. He built trust, he's entertaining as hell, and he showed up consistently. And this is like long before anyone ever called him an actor or a filmmaker. He was already doing the most important part of the job, which is building an audience. And I've said this so many times, attention is the commodity in the film industry, and he did that before making a film. And so when Markiplier decided to make a film, and I'm talking about a real film with distribution, not a sketch, this isn't a piece of content. He didn't wait for validation, he didn't wait for someone to call his number. He started by choosing first the right story, and that's a film called Iron Lung, and it's based on an indie horror game. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it. It's claustrophobic, it's psychological, and it's stripped down, it's contained. No superheroes here, people, no spectacle, no safety net, just tension, atmosphere, and control. And that was a very strategic move. It was a filmmaker choosing constraints on purpose because there were probably budgetary constraints. But now here's something to top it off. Markiplier didn't just star in this film. He directed it. He co-wrote it. He produced it, which is just another way of saying he took responsibility for the creative decisions, for the execution, for the entire shebang. And here's where the story becomes historic in my view. He didn't just do all that stuff. He funded the film himself. No studio money, not with pre-sales or traditional investors. He funded it with what he's been building for years, audience equity. Probably from his revenue on YouTube, from podcasts, from merchandise, from brand partnerships, money from serving an audience directly. Then he goes and he reinvests it back into something that he now owns, which is the film. And there was no dilution of creative control. Folks, that is a shift. That's the shift. If you don't get it, let me give you some context here, okay? See, for decades, filmmaking worked like this. You needed gatekeepers to reach audiences because the gatekeepers had the actors, the directors, whatever it may be. And you needed money to get to those gatekeepers. And so the result was artists trading ownership for access. And Markiplier flips that completely. He didn't need permission to begin because he already owned the hardest thing to get: attention, sales, distribution. People wanted to watch it. And this is why Iron Lung matters. Not because it exists, but because of what it proves. It proves that the traditional order, the talent and the gatekeepers and then the funding and yada yada, it no longer is the only path. Now there's another one, and it's audience first. And I'm gonna say this is the part that makes the industry probably pretty nervous, because if a creator can build an audience directly and monetize them sustainably, and then fund that film independently, retain the ownership, and still reach global theaters and global distribution, then studios no longer control who gets to try. They only control who gets to scale, maybe, but that's a big difference. Now, that doesn't mean that Hollywood is dead by any means, maybe a little neutered, but it means Hollywood is no longer the starting line. And I just feel like that changes the psychology of creation, because when you remove permission from the process, then you also remove that fear of being told no. This isn't even just about Markiplier. He's just early. This is about a world where creators no longer ask, like, will they let me make this? But instead, they're gonna ask, like, who am I already speaking to and what can we build together? It's community driven. That's not a trend, that's a realignment. And I don't know, for me, I can feel the ground moving from under me because of this. And so I want to be clear, because there's something people are probably going to miss, and I don't want you to miss this, because the real point isn't Markiplier, it's not even the Iron Lung. It's what technology is about to make possible, because very soon, one person, or maybe even a small team of people, is going to have the tools, the resources, and the leverage to make something that looks and feels like a Hollywood film. I'm not talking about in theory, I'm talking about in practice. It is inevitable. But this whole situation goes even one step deeper, because many people have already tried what Markiplier did. I have, on a micro budget, and the result wasn't nearly the same, because there was one variable that mattered more than budget: attention. And there will be some outliers. But generally, technology is not going to replace the need for attention. It's going to amplify whoever already has it. You see, think about it like this. Markiplier didn't succeed because he made a film. He succeeded because millions of people were already listening before he ever shot the first frame of his movie. So the real question isn't, can creators make films now? They always could, and it's only gonna get easier. The question is whether this becomes a new path. A path where you don't have to start by pitching and networking, but you start with a channel where you don't guess who your audience is. You build with them. You create for a specific group of people who already care. So yeah, go get him, kid. Like, subscribe. See you soon.